I hope you had a wonderfully satisfying lunch. And I'm glad to see there were also spuds on the menu, so we're ticking the right boxes. We are heading into session 3 now, where we're going to be exploring cutting-edge innovation in infrastructure, specifically how we grow smarter. Kicking us off is Yechiam, agronomist at Netafim in Israel's northern district, to share his global experience with drip irrigation in potatoes. Let's give him a warm welcome.
Hello. Good afternoon. You can hear me okay? Let's start. We don't have a lot of time. So, my name is Yechiam. I'm the guy who was chosen to speak after lunch. Tough spot. I'm an agronomist. I come from Israel. I'm based in Italy now. I've been working 8 years in Netafim. The past 4 years as EMEA head agronomist, Europe, Middle East, Africa. We've been dealing a lot with development of drip irrigation in potato, and I'll share in the time that we have the experience with you. So we are going to start with reasons to believe drip irrigation. Then we're going to talk about briefly importance of irrigation. Then we're going to compare between the different irrigation methods briefly. Zoom into drip irrigation. A hint of agronomy, talked about irrigation scheduling and some fertigation, which is crucial for success with drip irrigation. And some local experience here from the northwest part of province of South Africa. Reasons to believe. Basically, we've been doing 30 years, more than 50,000 hectares, but it changed. It's different varieties, climate, soil types, and so on. For example, in Europe, where I come from now, where I live, we are helping farmers convert from rain guns to drip irrigation because they are not able to reach out their target yields in terms of contract. They are contracted to McCain, Simplot, PepsiCo, whatever. And due to climate change, they are not able to fulfill these goals. So we are converting them from rain gun to drip irrigation. Another example for the US, for example, over there they have increase in water salinity. They are a pivot user in Idaho, maybe the massive area of potatoes in the world. And because of water salinity, they cannot use overhead irrigation no more, so we are converting them to drip irrigation plot by plot. It's a process, it's not an easy solution, and there is no one solution that fits all. It's changed within everything. Our main asset is the people. We have global knowledge, USA, Mexico, South Africa, Europe, Israel. We share this knowledge globally. We are part of it, and it helps us, agronomical and technical knowledge, bring us to success, basically. This is our biggest asset that we have. And this list is a list that I like very much. Basically, it shows when we want to develop a new area, we come to the area, and we have to start with a demo plot. We have to make you believe that it works. So we are testing what is the common irrigation method of that region. And then we come in with our knowledge, technical, agronomical, our crop models, and we are comparing. And at the end of each year, we are comparing the yields, and from that we can derive the water use efficiency, the fertilizer use efficiency, etc. And this is just a partial list. And the main thing I want you to take from here is that drip generally, agronomically, helps you maximize your water or maximize your fertilizers because it does not wet the whole surface. It wets only the portion on the ridge. I will touch it soon. Therefore, you can maximize your yield with the same amount of water or nitrogen or phosphorus or whatever. And this is our focus list just from the recent years. It could be rain gun in Europe. It can be pivot in US or Spain or South Africa. We know how to measure and compare it. Briefly about irrigation, importance of irrigation. This is from Oregon State University we worked for. Basically, up to a certain point, more irrigation equals more yield, more profit when it's scheduled properly. Of course, same for fertigation. This is really a brief touch. Another thing, just trying to locate potatoes, as you know, so it's a moderately drought-sensitive crop. For example, in this graph you can see here, this is the stomatal conductance with relation to the total available water in the soil, and potato is somewhere in the middle, so up to 50% of available water. If we are listening, we will start experience stomatal closure and yield reduction and so on. Lettuce will be right on the left of the graph. Cotton, which is much more tolerant to drought, will be on the right. Just to put you spot on. So we understand we need to irrigate. I think in South Africa, it's easy. Everyone understands it. In Europe, it's a bit harder, trust me. So the irrigation method, we have flood, not relevant, I think, for this situation. And then we have the overhead irrigation, pivots, sprinklers, and rain gun like they do in Europe or in north of the US. And then we have the drip. Yes, we can continue. And before I go to this table, I have a very important message in saying we feel, and I showed you the tables, the drip irrigation agronomically is a very, very efficient tool to maximize land yield, water quality, etc. We are not saying that it is the best solution for every situation. This is not our claim. Sometimes it's a cost issue, sometimes it's an operational issue, lack of water, lack of pressure, and so on. Trying to sum up the advantages of drip irrigation over the others. Again, if you want to maximize your sources, water and fertilizers, uniformity, quality, yield levels, drip might be the solution for you. Also, if you are in a windy areas, salinity, as I mentioned in the US, salinity water, drip can help you a lot. The main bottleneck of this situation is one, cost, okay, it's not an easy system. Two, complexity. You need to have some knowledge in order to use drip. If you're an early user, you need our help, Netafim's help, in order to get you started. We know it. Trust me, it's easier to speak in South Africa. It is a very mature market, very experienced market of drip irrigation. When I do this presentation in Europe, it's much harder because they are new to drip, Northwest Europe, where I live right now. So the importance of drip, the importance of irrigation, and the advantage and disadvantage are, I think, obvious for all of us. I'll zoom in now to drip irrigation. Basically, what the solution we offer, ridge to lateral configuration. We're talking about 1-to-1, one lateral per ridge, and 1-to-2. One lateral per two ridges. I will touch it in a minute. Okay, sorry. There you go. I will be focusing on one-to-one solution because one-to-one, one lateral per ridge, maximizing water use efficiency nitrogen, and it depends on your spacing. If it's 0.75, it will be like this, 0.9, one to each roll. As a thumb rule, the distance between the drippers, it will be 30 centimeters in a sandy soil, 50 centimeters in a medium to heavy soil. Very easy, it's a school solution. And it can be a thin wall, a very thin wall, one seasonal use drip, or it can be a medium wall drip that you can recoil and use it for 5 to 7 or 10 years. Again, the big disadvantage is one is the cost. Second, the bottleneck of machinery, I will touch it. Second solution is the 1-to-2, one lateral for T ridges. Based on what we saw, it is not relevant for the South African market. Basically, we don't recommend to go 1-to-2 on sandy soils. It will not work. We don't have enough capillarity in the soil to drive those water from the drip in the middle to two of the laterals. Forget about it. And second, in Europe, we are doing 1-to-2 solutions when we have at least 200 millimeters of irrigation during the growing season. So the drip is being used as a supplementary irrigation. So it's just for you to open your mind and to expand. This is the 1-to-2 solution. Another interesting thing that we are doing is the M-shape. It's a different type of 1-to-2. Think of an M-shape-like sort of a solution, but just more down. Again, not relevant for the South African market the way we understood this market. Maybe you can surprise me. Another solution, before we go on a bit to agronomy, is sprinkler irrigation. We also offer sprinkler irrigation. It has its advantages and disadvantages. Main disadvantages is the disadvantage of overhead irrigation if you have water salinity and so on. We do sell quite a lot of a sprinkler system. In Mexico, for example, in the Sinaloa Valley, they face frost during the season. So they buy the sprinkler system. It can be either 10 by 10 or 15 on 15. Sorry. And they activate it. We developed together a protocol in case they have -2, -3 frost event. They are able to operate and fight the frost with the system. So not just about drip, we're talking also about sprinklers in this solution. But we understood that it's not just about putting the drip, we have to develop technical solutions. For example, mobile irrigation head. Because of the crop rotation of the potatoes, in Europe, for example, you can grow potatoes on the same plot only after 7 years. So the irrigation head needs to be mobile and flexible. In this case, it's for 15 hectares plots and more. It's this container filled in with everything you need to run down the irrigation. You just plug in the water, and then you go. At the end of the season, you close the container, you store it, you use it for your next cycle whenever you want to do it. So this is for large plot, mobile or semi-mobile. Same plot for the smaller plots. For example, you have the fertigation, the filtration, everything is there, the controlling and the monitoring, things that we are doing. Technical barrier, again, machinery. We have to put on the drip. So we developed our own machines, or in other cases, we connected to machinery companies. This is a one-to-one configuration machine that put on 6 rows in a while. A good farmer can do 10 hectares per day with this machine. So we got it sorted out. It can do also the seeding. It can do also some other things. Meanwhile, contact us for more questions. There are many machinery solutions nowadays. This is for taking out the drips, thin wall drippers, 3 at a time. So again, every case is different, but we are standing on, and we can help you find the right solution for your soil type, your machinery, your configuration, your climate, your varieties. In terms of machinery, it's highly important to get the knowledge. Agronomy, a bit in the time that we have left. So we also had to develop the best know-how in terms of agronomy of how to do it. Just a schematic way. This is the crop coefficient, so we would start in a 0.5, increase during the vegetative growth up to 70.75. And then during the tuber initiation stage, we will back it up, going up to 1.1. It's a linear increase from 75 to 1.1, because we have to support 75% of the full field that transpires the canopy, plus initiate the tubers, enlarge them, make them grow. So this all agronomy based was used in all of those demo plots that we were talking about at the beginning. So we had to come with also the agronomic solution. Fertigation, very important. The ability to put fertilizers using the irrigation system. I know you guys are doing it with the pivots as well. Again, we believe because we wet only the tubers, we get the water and the nutrients only where the active roots are, and we're not wasting water and nutrients on the roads and so on. We develop our own scheme of when and how much to fertilize. So let's take, for example, the phosphorus. If we are going on a medium soil, we would put upfront 40%. Again, depends on the yield targets, soil analysis, and so on. And then the other 60%, we would partition it along the season. Take a look at this. It works. Take a look at this table. So we start easily, and then in this critical stage, we measured that we can get more tubers applying with the drip, more phosphorus, up to the end of initiation. And then during bulking, we would support it with additional potassium and so on to get the high yields and the better fertilizer use efficiency that we talked about. Again, we can talk about it for hours. It's just to give you an example of, in a nutshell, of how we are approaching it. We have the technical solution, we have the agronomy solution, we combine it all together, and we come into new areas to develop, because local experience, again, it is in the northwest. Don't ask me to pronounce the name of the place. I cannot do it in Afrikaans. But this exists. We did it on a loamy soil. It was pivot against drip. And this was done. The variety was Marquis. It was with one of the biggest industry leaders. I cannot say the name, but I guess you can guess the name. So they would do whatever they would do with the pivot as normal. We used a one-to-one configuration every 0.9 meter, every 30 centimeters dripper spacing, medium wall dripper, 1 liter per hour, every 30 centimeters, using our drip. Again, there is a report written and a lot of things, just sharing. This is the final yield, okay? Look at the difference of the yield with less water, better size uniformity, and take a look at here also. The nitrogen and the potassium use efficiency was much more efficient, driving better yields and better marketable yields, because we are talking also about quality, not just about getting big yields. All the uniformity, tuber, diameter, all of those parameters, skin conditions and so on. Didn't have a lot of time, I need to finish, so if I have one take-off message for you, drip solution is not the ultimate solution, but in case you have water shortage, you want better yields, you have water quality issues, you want more quality, you want to maximize your land or your fertilizers or your energy, you might consider drip irrigation. We know it works, we've done it in other places. We are here to assist you and develop it with you. Thanks a lot.